In this video, you're going to learn how to work with the law of sines and the law of cosines. So when do we use the law of sines and the law of cosines? Well, it's when we don't have a right triangle. We don't have that 90-degree angle. So for the law of sines, there's two different ways to write the formula. You can either write it this top one or this second one here. And let's talk about law of sines first. Each problem that I'm going to show you, I'm going to do two of sines and two of the law of cosines. Each one's a little bit different, so you're going to want to see each example. When we're given a triangle, let's just call it a generic triangle, ABC. Notice that the capital letters are used to denote the angles, and then the lowercase letters are used to denote the side lengths. And notice that here's angle A, across from angle A is side A, across from angle B is side B, across from angle C is side C. And when we do the law of sines, I like to use this top equation here. You can think of this ratio, the sine of angle A over its side opposite. That ratio is equal to the sine of angle B over its side opposite, and that's equal to the ratio of sine of angle C over its side opposite. So you only need to use two of these three ratios to form a proportion, and then you can solve for the missing quantity. What I like to think of is I like to think of the angle and the side across as like a pair. So you've got a pair, and a pair like that. So let me show you the first example. Like say here we want to find the measure of angle C. Well, what I notice first off is that I have 70 degrees and I have the side across from that 70-degree angle. I also have this side here 6, and I'm looking for angle C, which is across from this side length of 6. So basically what we have is we have two pairs, and so we only have one unknown quantity, angle C. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the sine of 70 degrees over its side opposite equals the sine of angle C over its side opposite, which is 6. Now all we have to do now is we need to get sine of angle C by itself. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 6. That way the numerator and denominator cancel. And then what we're going to do to solve for angle C is we're going to have to take the sine inverse of this quantity. Let's do it one step at a time though. So first things first, we've got 6 times the sine of 70 degrees, all divided by 7. And that comes out to about 0.805. So 0.805 equals sine of C. If we want to solve for angle C, we're going to do the sine inverse of 0.805. And let's see what that comes out to. 53.7 degrees. So let's write that here, 53.7 degrees, and you got it. That's the measure of angle C. Now, if you want to proceed from there, then you can say, well, I know these two angles. I can subtract from 180 to find this angle. I could do law of sines again to find this missing side, and then you've solved the triangle. Okay, our second example using the law of sines, we're trying to find this missing side right here, x. And again, what we want to do is we want to think about the angle and the side across from that angle as like a pair. So here I've got 50 degrees and 10. Here we have 35 degrees and x. So we can use our law of sines to solve for this missing quantity. We've got sine of 35 degrees over its side opposite equals sine of 50 degrees over its side opposite. And now all we have to do is get this variable by itself. Now what we can do is we can cross multiply x times the sine of 50 degrees equals 10 times the sine of 35 degrees. Now all we have to do instead of multiplying by sine of 50 is divide both sides by sine of 50 degrees. That gives us x by itself, and we can calculate that length. So let's go ahead and do that. We've got 10 sine of 35 divided by sine of 50. Make sure your calculator is in degree mode since we're working with degrees, and it comes out to approximately 7.5. And the next two examples, we're going to talk about the law of cosines. We're going to be working with these three formulas here at the bottom. Now, if you know one of these formulas, you'll automatically know the other two. So what I recommend is start off by memorizing this top one. C squared equals a squared plus b squared, just like Pythagorean theorem, minus 2 times a times b times the cosine of angle C. One thing you'll notice about these formulas is that see how this is side C and angle C? See how they're across from each other or at opposite ends in the formula? Just like they're across from each other in the triangle. If we use this middle formula, see side B, angle B, they're across from each other in the formula, they're across from each other in the triangle, and we've got side A and angle A. And notice then, if we're working with this top one, see C and C, then we've got A and B, A and B. If we're working with B, we've got A and C, A and C. If we're working with A, we've got B and C, B and C, the other two that we're not using, right? So when do we use law of cosines? That's the question a lot of students ask. Well, you can use the law of cosines, okay, or you actually have to use the law of cosines when they only give you three sides, like side, 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 nothing else. Or they give you side, angle, side, meaning the angle is in between the two given sides. If you try to use law of sines, what will happen is you have too many unknowns. You won't be able to solve because you've got like two variables or more. So that's when you use law of cosines, side, 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 or side, angle, side. Let me show you example number 3 here. Okay, notice what we have. We've got side, angle, side. That case I was talking about right here. We want to find the side across from angle C, side C. So we're going to use this top formula here. And let's go ahead and write it out. So we have c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2 times a times b times the cosine of angle C. We don't know what C is, so let's just leave that as variable C. Okay, a is the side across from angle A, that's 8 squared, plus b, that's the side across from angle B, that's 10 squared, minus 2 times 8 times 10 times the cosine of angle C, which is 42 degrees. Now notice how this is c squared here. We just want to solve for side C, not c squared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the square root, because the square and the square root, those are inverses, they cancel. If we do that to the left side, we also want to do it to the right side. So let's go to our calculator. Let's put all that in, and we're going to take the square root. So if you use parentheses, you can do all this in one step. 8 squared plus 10 squared, let's see, minus 2 times 8 times 10 times the cosine of 42. Again, make sure your calculator is in degrees. So that comes out to about 6.7, and you've got that missing side. Okay, example number 4. This is the case where you have three sides, side, 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 and you want to solve for a missing angle. In this case, we're trying to solve for angle B. So what we're going to do, since we're trying to solve for angle B, let's use this middle equation where we have side B but not angle B. And let's write that out. So we've got b squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2ac cosine angle B. Okay, b is the side across from angle B, that's 15 squared. A is the one across from angle A, that's 11 squared. C is the one across from angle C, that's 9 squared, minus 2 times 11 times 9 times the cosine of angle B. Now, sometimes students make a little bit of arithmetic errors when they're trying to solve for angle B here. So let me see if I can explain this. Let's go ahead and simplify a little bit here. We've got 225, we have 121 plus 81 minus, let's see, 2 times 11 times 9, which is 198 cosine angle B. Now what students sometimes do is they try to combine these numbers here. You can combine these, but you really can't combine with this because this 198 is multiplied by cosine of B. This is like all one group. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to subtract the 121 and we're going to subtract the 81. We're going to get them to this left side of the equation. So let's do that now. So 225 minus 121 minus 81. So now we're at 23 equals negative 198 times the cosine of angle B. We want to get cosine B by itself, so let's go ahead and divide by negative 198 to both sides. And let's see what that comes out to. Okay, so we're looking at about negative 0.116 equals cosine of angle B. Now remember, whenever you're solving for the missing angle, that's when you want to do the inverse sine or inverse cosine, inverse tangent, like that. So to solve for angle B, we're going to take the cosine inverse of negative 0.116. So let's go ahead and do that. And what I tend to do is I tend to, on my calculator, use the previous answer key. So I take that long decimal so I get a little bit more accurate answer. So it looks like angle B here is approximately 96.7 degrees, and you got it. If you want to see more examples, what I didn't get into yet in this video here is when you're working with the law of sines, you have a potential sometimes to get one triangle, two triangles, or no triangles, depending on the information that they give you. So follow me over to that video right there where I talk about the ambiguous case using the law of sines, and I'll see you over in that video.